Hi guys, stop. Hi guys, my name is Monica, and today I'm starting my first ever channel and my first ever video on YouTube, so it's pretty intimidating, I gotta lie. Or I can't lie about that. It's just, there's so many times that I kept on reposing this and kept on laughing that I'm kind of getting frustrated. So basically, booktube channel, as you probably clicked and know from this video, that Anna talks about books and everything in between, to analyzing them, talking about them, reviews, hauls, everything else in between. And today I'm starting a tag, which is the Newbie booktube tag, which primarily is a good starter, or at least a lot of people do it to start their own YouTube videos or booktube videos to start off with. So I thought that'd be the perfect way because, like, I'm starting this, so. And also, previously to note that while I do this tag, I'm gonna be looking over to my computer just to make sure that nobody is, like, confused about that. The first question is, why did you start this channel? Well, before I started doing this and before I actually had this set up and everything, honestly, I honestly had this idea for the longest of times because ever since, like, middle school or something like that, when I started really getting into it, I've always loved, like, looking up YouTube videos and just seeing all the reviews of, like, my favorite books or recommendations and everything else in between. I just loved the idea of books, and I thought watching so many videos of them was something I loved doing, and I thought I could do it too, since I watched it all the time. But then that idea slowly started to die once I went into high school, and now I'm almost out of high school. I mean, not really, but, like, almost there to some degree. And I thought, start doing it again, because I love talking about books, and I want to rekindle my love for reading. And even though I have to some degree, reading has always been part of my life ever since middle school, and because it changed my life, and I want to show it to all of you guys still, because reading is everything to me, and I hope to share it throughout this channel. Okay, number 2. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to BookTube? Well, myself. Yeah, because I'm such a personality. Totally. Just, it's too unique. Yeah, I don't really think so, but yeah. Okay. So basically, my channel is called Chroniclesofbook, as you probably have seen. So, as it probably is in here, and as I'm talking about it now, I love the Chronicles of Narnia book series. I've loved it ever since, like, 8th grade year. Honestly, like, that series has forever held a special place in my heart. And since it's the title of my booktube channel, there's a reason why I want to share it so much. And I just want to share so many Narnia content, because, I mean, as people probably know, because since Narnia is a classic anyways to some degree, I know that people know it, but I just want to share more of Narnia content because, like, it always needs to be loved. It's way more underrated than most other popular fantasy series up to date, and this one still needs to be. I mean, it's timeless for a reason, so, and plus, anybody who knows me knows that there's so many things that I love in my life, and there's so many things that I still love in my life, but one of the things that I'll forever will love is Narnia. Basically, also another thing is video essays. Honestly, I mean, as you know, the concept of video essays is, like, you have this video, you do the essay, and it has, like, pictures over it. Honestly, I love video essays so much, and I just always love the concept of them and everything, and just doing it just makes me feel so happy, and I just love analyzing so much of, like, the book content, or whatever content that's related to books, that I thought if I'm going to do this, I totally would have, like, a playlist or something like that. Because I'd love to do that as, like, one of my niches for my booktube channel, because I just think that's so cool, and I feel like some people have done that, of course, since, like, it's YouTube, and so many people have read books and probably did it because it's not that original, but I just love doing it in a way that's, like, a playlist at least, because that's a good idea, and that's so cool to me, so I really want to do that. I don't know if that's unique, but I hope that is. Also, number 3 is, what are you most excited about this new channel? I think I'm excited to talk about books, because for the longest of times, when I read books back then, and even now to some degree, even though some of it is just, like, rarely, I've always just, like, loved commentary and loved talking about it to, like, myself, which I'm just kind of weird, but that's okay. Or just to other people in general. But at the end of the day, so many people are busy, and sometimes I have other things to do. But just getting like an outlet just to talk about books, even after I'm done, just feels like a friend to me. And I feel like this is gonna be like a friend to me because I always love talking about it. I always love talking about books, analyzing them, and everything. So I just hope, I hope that, I just hope this will be like a good outlet, at least. If that makes sense. I hope so. I'm sorry for the screaming. Why do you love reading? Well, that's a hard one to say. I mean, there's so many reasons why I love reading, from like A to B to C, but mainly I just love reading, other than the most popular like example, which is escapism, which, I mean, I could say that, but like I want a different answer for my type of question that I'm gonna answer. I think it's just because reading as a whole is like going to someone's mind and learning about them and learning about the story that they go through, or X, Y, and Z from that type of nature, whether it be actual stories, non-fiction. It's just a point of view. But for me, I think that point of view is really great, and I love analyzing that. But the way that you take out from it, like the life lessons that you learn from it, or just like the study of like analyzing of like their life or the human behavior that they have, I think that's so cool, because honestly, one of my favorite subjects, and one day I hope that I would take as a career, is psychology. And I've always loved like analyzing, pickpocketing, like anything. And I just think like reading a book and taking things out from it is just so important to me. And sure, the content and the story is important, and I'm not trying to say that because that's the whole reason you read a book in the first place. But just analyzing it and always like pinpointing like every single thing, I just think that's so amazing to me. And just a book can do that to you, even in the most littlest of books, or even the most chunkiest of books, with nonsense, but nonsense that makes sense in a way that someone else might think of that, or someone else. I think that's so amazing. So basically, in simple short, just analyzing life and the human behavior. A long-winded sentence, but yeah, that's usually me. What book or series got you into reading? Well, other than like the picture books or just some books that you read like in like kindergarten or elementary, the book that really got me into reading was back in 6th grade, and it was called the Emily Winsnap books by Liz Kessler. I'll show you. So this is what it is. It's the Emily Winsnap books. I hope that when I see this, that it won't just be like not in a weird angle. But that's what it is. Basically, from the context, from what I remember, it's about this girl who is like a mermaid, who doesn't know that she's a mermaid, but like she goes into the pool one day and realizes it, and like adventures happen. From my standpoint, all I just know is that it's just mermaids, and that she's gonna go on adventures, and a lot of things happen. It's a 6 or 7 book series, so if you ever want to read it, it's a middle grade, so just to let you know. So the 6th question is, what questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? Booktubers are Dash of Ash, Sarah Caroline, Peyton Reads, Clockwork Reader, and Read by Zoe. For this question, I would say, what book do you wish you would have written that's already published? Okay, number 7. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? I mean, other than the basics of just like editing, I think it's just like, regardless, I think it's just time that like when I do this, because I know that like I'm almost out of high school. I know I have university to take, and then, the big girl world, I guess you could say. So, I just hope that I have time to do this, because, as much as I do have expectations for life, I've always wanted to do this, and I just feel like doing it now is something really like important to me. So I hope I can, keep on doing it, and even though for long periods of times, because I know that one day I'm never going to do this ever again. I start, taking on more responsibilities, and, sooner or later, because I know that everything comes to an end, but I really hope so, that this will be an outlet for me for a long time. When did you start reading? Well, as I said before, it was in 6th grade. And the story for that is, well, when I remember it, we were in this reading class, we were in this English class, I think, and we was like reading time, not reading class, but basically, everybody had their book out. I'd be like, I don't know what to do, and there's this one girl in my class, she was like reading and everything, and then she put it back, and I'd be like, huh, what's that? Because I always thought that was a pretty cover, so I just followed her, not like in a creepy way, but it was afterwards. I'd be like, okay, let me see what this is. So I picked it up and read the book and the title, which was Emily Winsnap. Be like, huh, let's just read it. And so I read it, and I thought, okay, this is pretty interesting. And then I started reading it, and next time I know, it was done. It was one day, and I fell completely in love with the book. And since then, I read the book series, and then I discovered YouTube, and then I discovered BookTube, and then come shoved into push, and here I am, a book reader, and all this bookshelves, and me doing this now. So I think after that moment, it really changed my life. Even now, and even when I can't read, but I always go to Thanks Books for everything. Where do you read? Well, that's the 8th question, by the way. And actually, I read here. I actually have, I'll show you. Okay, I can. So it's this chair over here. Like, as I was saying, yeah, that's where I read. And, like, I usually have, like, a lamp above. And I just read and just, yeah, that's pretty much it. It's number 10. What kind of books do you like to read? Well, over the years, I started to really love, like, fantasy, just because I've always loved adventures. I always loved, going in the outdoors, and the only place I ever went to was just a few shops and, home. So going into someone else's, like, journey is something just so magical to me. And even as the years comes on, a good fantasy story will always get me so hyped up for, pretty much anything. And also, I'm gonna expose myself a little bit. I remember for, like, the longest time I always used to be like, oh, I'm too embarrassed to do this. But probably emotional, realistic romances, not like the kind that are just like, I fall in love with you one day and then we have babies the next, or whatever. It's just something that's so, like, realistic. But it's just, like, just romances that, like, pull your heartstrings, but, like, make you really think about life. But also, like, romances in a way that's, like, really well written and actually, like, really well done, and something you could actually see, like, in real life. So I think that's good, because I like romances that, like, also, like, have plot other than just, like, romance in between, because I feel like that balances out so well. Because, like, I feel like a love story, even, like, in the most realistic ones, like, a love story isn't just, like, the fluffiness, but it's also, like, the characters and how they interact and the friendship and everything. And that's what makes the romance so good. And I feel like, yeah, that's, like, what every romance have, but in a sense that, like, it has both the balance of both plot and romance. I think that's something that I really love. Other than that, mystery. I love some good mystery stories. Just the fact that, like, you can pinpoint something and everything. I've always loved the art investigation, and I just think that's, like, so cool. Just, like, just getting so surprised about something, and something so, like, bizarre and so, just figuring things out is something I truly love. And then manga. I love some good manga, honestly. I love the good, like, art pieces, but also I just love the good storytelling that comes with it, because 9 out of 10, as much as I love American cartoons or just any artwork in general, and I'm not trying to bash them in any means, even though that's what I'm doing right now, I really love the whole, like, art, like, just, I can't even speak, that's how much I love it. But in general, hi. So I rewatched the video to some parts, just for a little bit. It's a couple of minutes later, so I haven't actually, like, edited it or anything. But just so that I can put this on editing, that, I ramble, like, a lot in that scene. But basically, when I talked about what kinds of books that I like, when I went to manga, I just, like, exploded left and right and talked about this and that, and it just, I know this isn't really scripted, only to some degree, but it's just, but basically, long story short, the reason why I love manga is, yes, I always think, like, the art style is so beautiful, and also the storytelling, but mix them together is something that is so, like, something that I've always, like, loved as an experience. Because you can take a book that is printed and still love it, you can always visualize it in a way, and you can take, like, just an artwork that doesn't have any context, at least to some degree, but it's just, like, you can interpret it for yourself. But just in a way that storytelling can come about in two worlds together is something that, like, the emotions, the fighting styles, or just anything in between is something that I've always loved. If you're American, like, comic books or any graphic novels that are American or something else in between, but just the Japanese manga is something that's just so unique to storytelling, or maybe just because I love manga, so I'm such a weeb like that, I guess you could say, if that's still a thing. But it's just, that storytelling is everything to me. It's something that, those are the stories that is something I will always remember. Just, oh, manga is such an experience, and I totally recommend. But other than that, thank you so much, guys, for watching. And I just gotta say, I hope that I will forget myself later in life when I see this video, because I mean, this is my first ever video, and I hope that this channel will bring you much peace as it did for all the other booktubers that I mentioned, and also just booktube in general, because at the end of the day, me and everybody else that still does it years from now, or going to do it, or planning to do it at some future, is that we all just love books, and I hope that my channel can bring much love to books as much as you do. Reading is such a friend, and just knowing that I can be that asset for someone, and knowing that I can still talk about books even, now when I'm still older, and even now when, later in life if I still do this, which hopefully I do, because reading changed my life, and I hope to share this throughout. I'm gonna start crying. I hope to share this throughout my booktube, because my YouTube channel and everything, because it really did. And I hope, you like, comment, and subscribe. I'm never gonna get used to talking about, I'm never gonna used to saying, I'm never gonna get used to actually saying this, but who knows. Thank you. Have a good day. See you.